Alright guys, welcome back here to Kings of Swarm Weekly number 9. I am Solid Jake.
And I'm Kubi.
And we're getting ready here for our semifinals between
Murlocs Inc. and Barrel Boys. Now you guys just watched Barrel Boys get a, we'll call it an upset over Cloud9 Vortex. Cloud9 Vortex is easily one of the top 3 teams in NA right now, so big props to them. That was a very, very good series, and you guys should absolutely check that out when the VODs are up.
I'm actually going to disagree with you and say that the top 3 is really hard to tell right now because Murlocs Inc., Barrel Boys, both coming up. A few weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago, you could say Vortex was clearly the number 3.
Okay.
But between You're
doing your murky impression.
Murlocs, yeah. I think between Murlocs and Barrel Boys and Vortex, they're all on a very even level. Maelstrom getting upset a few times by those teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they were upset today. Well, not upset, but 2-0'd by Symbiote Gaming.
Yeah.
Symbiote, my opinion, strongest team in NA right now. They seem to be like the pack leader. But I think
there's some up-and-coming teams.
I think
love
2
it.
to 5 is actually up for contention.
Yeah, it's good. I like to see that.
Yeah, but Maelstrom, pretty safely number 2 for the time being.
Yeah.
But on that note, we're actually going to be starting our pick ban process.
Yeah.
And we're going to switch over to that screen. And what do we got here? We got a ban? Who's that? Who's that guy? Who would have thought?
Stitches?
Stitch.
Stooges.
Murlocs doesn't want the Stooches.
Okay, so, yeah, Murlocs Inc. and Barrel Boys on Dragonshire. So, where does Hammer fit in? Where does the mobility fit in? These are all questions we gotta ask right off the bat. We do have Falstad picked up pretty early, but all right. So we have a ban on Tychus coming out of Barrel Boys.
That was actually the first ban. So the first ban was actually Barrel Boys banning out Tychus and then Stitches out of Murlocs Inc. First pick ended up being Tassadar. That was for Barrel Boys, and then Falstad Vala there for Murlocs Inc. Opting for those 2 ranged assassins.
Yep. Also, the high mobility on Falstad is probably why you see him picked up earlier than some of the other heroes. You can expect Brightwing to possibly be picked up earlier for the exact same reason. So, I mean, we may see Murlocs Inc. grab a very mobile composition here. We'll have to see. But we do see the Nazebo Kerrigan picked up coming out of, is that Barrel Boys? Yes. We have already seen the Kerrigan. The devastating Kerrigan play earlier today, so we're well aware that McIntyre has a strong Kerrigan.
I just want to talk about the Barrel Boys with their barrels and the Murlocs with the Murlocs instead of the default man. I mean, it's so brilliant. Who would have thought?
We enjoy these little touches.
Yeah, they're so creative.
You guys want to invent dances to the start of the matches when you guys are all waiting around. We love that stuff.
It really makes our day here. Uther, Hammer of course being a priority pick a lot of the times here on this map, and Uther's going to be their tank. So a really strong start. They're down to just the 1 Murloc in the middle, which we can't see. 1 member left to be picked here for Murlocs Inc. But on the other side of the map, I mean, they've got a good start here. Nazebo, Kerrigan, and Tassadar, very well-rounded. Arthas is up as an option available here, not banned out. Pairs very well with Kerrigan. I said earlier today I thought we'd see Arthas when we had Kerrigan, and we didn't. And I thought it was a mistake, so I hope that we do, in fact, see Arthas picked up here by Barrel Boys, but power's in their hands.
So Uther picked up over Brightwing. But I mean, I guess that makes a little bit of sense considering the Nazebo pickup too. And if you happen to catch Kerrigan diving in a little bit too hard, you can stun her out before she can get her combo off to get the shields up that she's expecting to have for that sustain. So that's a possibility there as to why they grabbed Uther. But I mean, you can also argue that Emerald Wind achieves the same thing.
Clown saying to us in the chat, please make sure you say Murlocs Incorporated as it's trademarked.
Okay. Hey. Throw my hands up here. Just relax. We'll take care of it.
Murlocs Incorporated. Very good. Very good. Now, still debating on their picks here is our Barrel Boys and...
Yeah. So, I mean, they're pretty well rounded out here in terms of damage. If they're going to go for the traditional 3 DPS, 1 support, 1 warrior, we're going to see them grab 1 warrior, 1 support here. Who is left on the table? Of course, we have already mentioned Arthas. I mean, how much does Arthas actually peel for Nazebo? That's really the question here, and you might even see them grab Muradin just for that extra support for Nazebo, because while the slow is really nice, people will be diving in, and other than the Howling Blast, he doesn't have too much to control them out of that situation. So it's possible that we will see Muradin there. We've mentioned this in the past, especially when Nazebo is very prevalent. Muradin is a good counter for Nazebo. He's also pairs very well with Nazebo for those reasons. So.
Well, they're taking their sweet time here, waiting for this decision. And, well, we're looking around 30 seconds. Kubi's putting the time on them, saying, look, guys, eventually we will have an actual draft system. While we wait, we do have a cat perching. So there's your cat hype for the day. Getting her pets. Being chubby, delightfully chubby. She is actually the mascot of that subreddit, delightfully chubby. And Tyrael,
Tyrael and Malf. Okay, I'm okay with this because they're just looking for more situations to keep people away from Nazeebo, and I think Tyrael does a good job of doing that. So, okay, and then Muradin is the last pick. Ooh, so we were just talking about that. Muradin. Good counter for Nazeebo. Also works well with him. They're going to go for the counter situation here.
That's good. I like that. You can Dwarf Toss, especially with the increased mobility that we have here with the Dwarf Toss nowadays in this recent patch. You can really get onto that Nazeebo, throw down your hammer, and stun him out, stopping that Ravenous Spear. And, of course, if you have Avatar, which we will almost definitely see here, you just are Stun City. Dragonshire, Game 1 here. Best of 3 series, semifinals of Kings of the Storm, weekly number 9 between the wrong logo for Barrel Boys. And we're going to fix that right now.
No pressure. No pressure. Can you do it fast?
Where is it?
Hop.
Oh, why isn't it working?
Rip. Anyway. All right, so we're moving into Dragonshire. Again, we actually saw the hammer pickup. We didn't talk too much about that. It is pretty good on this map. So I would imagine that we are going to be able to see that Murlocs Incorporated will have a pretty easy time holding at least one of the shrines. In terms of how their lane arrangement will go, I imagine we'll see something, typically it's a 1-1-3, putting a lot of pressure on the bottom lane. If they choose to stick hammer down there with Uther and maybe Falstad or something like that, I imagine that Barrel Boys will have a hard time trying to contest that. That said, they may choose to put some pressure up in the top lane, perhaps go for a more gank-style strategy. We have seen them do that in the past when they were playing that first game against Quantum Cat.
What a great name.
What a great name, absolutely. We hope to see those guys again in the future. But, yeah, I imagine that's what the strategy is going to look like, at least lane-wise.
Yeah. Well, time will tell. The map is almost loaded here.
It's taking its sweet time.
Let's take a look at this beautiful Murlocs Inc. logo. Oh,
yes.
It's
the
unveiled.
Murlocs, is that an eye in the middle there?
It's a Murloc eye.
Eye Illuminati?
Oh, gosh.
I already threw this one at him. I knew you'd be disgusted with it.
The filth is uncanny here. Now that's loading up. We're at 100%. Just teasing us. We're ready. Beta.
There's that one guy on Murlocs Incorporated. It's just computers, like, smoke coming out of the back. I'm like, oh, almost. Give me another second. I'll get there.
There we go. Hey! Yeah. Woo, we got a game. Game number 1 here, starting up. Kubi, let us introduce our players.
Yes, absolutely. So for the blue team, for Barrel Boys, we have McIntyre on Kerrigan. Curse Fury is going to be playing Tyrael. Blinks on Malfurion. Tremble playing Tassadar. And Fan will be playing Nazeebo.
And on the other half of the map, with the beautiful logo, is our new team, formerly known as Clairvoyant Gaming. They are now Murlocs Inc.
Incorporated.
Spanker will be playing Sergeant Hammer. Ekker's going to be on Uther. Caterpillar will be playing as Falstad. Clown on Vala. And we have Atlanta on Muradin. Guys, if you want to know more about Murlocs Inc., we did an interview with them this past week, just over a week ago on our show that we call Clairvoyance. Steve and myself sat down with Atlanta and Caterpillar to talk about the team and everything about them. So that's quite insightful if you care to know more about these guys.
So you interviewed former Clairvoyant Gaming on Clairvoyance.
Once they weren't called Clairvoyant Gaming, we're like, all right, you're allowed on our show.
Wow.
You're allowed on your show. And we interviewed them.
Too much confusion otherwise, right? Okay.
Oh, God. I don't even want to know. So we have the tri-bottom lane for both teams here. Of course, with this hammer, there's a lot of aggression available. But at the same time, Nazeebo can apply a lot of aggression as well. You have to worry about that Kerrigan pulling you in, the roots from Malfurion, and the wall from Nazeebo. A lot of power and lockdown available, but
on the other side of the coin, there is the hammer and Muradin and Uther. So we were expecting the hammer Uther to be bottom lane here, who they threw down there for their last one was sort of up in the air. I think it's a good pick, though, because you do get that extra stun, that extra lockout, and they should actually have a pretty easy time. I say Barrel Boys should have a pretty easy time holding that top lane. I think Tyrael probably will do a better job laning than Falstad, although it'll be kind of close. But I think a lot of the action is going to be happening down here at this bottom lane.
Yeah, we see the 4 members coming down. The rotation is here. They throw them to that route to make sure that they're safe and try to get a pick at the same time, because a lot of time people do wait in that brush. they don't actually get anyone there, and the rotation doesn't cost them anything as the rotation back up to that lane is going to be there, but Clown taking a lot of damage here. McIntyre, Trummel putting on a lot of pressure.
Ooh, look at this.
4 come up here from Murlocs Inc., and they managed to pick up the first kill of the game. First blood going down as Kerrigan does fall. Yeah,
really nice chaining together of those stuns there, and they should be able to rotate down to this bottom shrine to have control of it. That will prevent them from taking that Dragon Knight.
Now Echo has a decent chunk of damage taken right now. He's got to watch out for that wall, and there he does. He knew it's coming. The root comes down as well, but he's able to heal himself. We do have Lena there trying to help zone him out, and Echo's going to back up right there. Well done by him not walking into the zombie wall, taking the damage from Nazeebo at full force, because Nazeebo would have been able to unload on him a lot more if he did the predictable runaway kind of play.
Lena gets pulled in, gets rooted. A lot of damage, but he has a very high health pool, so it's going to be quite difficult to pull him down, especially with Uther backing him up with that support there. We do have level 4 hit for both teams, and geez, I wanted to talk about some really interesting talents that they grabbed, but other than the double healing ward, nothing too crazy here. I mean, we see the multi-shot build coming out of Vala here. Everything seems to be pretty standard. Auto attack build from Hammer, full Hammer build out of Muradin. But, I mean, that said, we do have Tyrael, and he does have Amplified Healing, so he will have a lot of area to stand in to get that extra HP. They don't stack, the healing wards don't.
Correct.
But, so you're going to see them placing them, you know, spaced out a little bit.
Cover more area. You can also stagger them. Spanker dodging the pull in there from the Primal Grasp, but he's going to be just fine. Nicely done, juking honestly a lot of lockdown abilities that were thrown his way, and this is going to still an advantage here having 3 members in bottom lane on the shrine, but they're going to actually take it back and maintain that presence with both shrines. And for Tastar, it's going to be very uncommon to actually be able to take this Dragon Knight without somebody dying on the sides of Murlocs.
Yeah. So I think it's sort of an interesting solution that they have, Barrel Boys, in terms of to deal with that really strong tri-lane bottom. They were basically rotating the person mid to come down to just have 4 people to contest it. And actually, I got to give them props. They've been doing a really good job keeping up in experience, because you pull that person out. They're pulling at the right times. And, you know, they've managed to turn the strategy into grabbing the first Dragon Knight at about 3.5 minutes in. Doesn't have a ton of HP, but they should be able to get some towers out of this as long as they're coordinating properly with the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, the Hammer is going to be able to defend relatively well, but yeah, that was just, ooh, look at that. He gets knocked out of it at the last second. The root going down on Atlanta. He's going to take a lot of damage there, backing on up. Now he's going to tap the wall, and his self-healing will kick in, so he'll heal up relatively quickly, but even still, he wants to be in the front line. He wants to be chipping away at that Dragon Knight. That's something he can do confidently when you consider the amount of lockdown available on the enemy team.
Yeah, we do see that Dragon backing up because he knows that the chances of him grabbing that 4 is slim to none. We will probably see him go up and pester this mid wall here, throw down a couple flame breaths there, punch some people up, maybe get a little extra damage. You might be able to clean up that last tower.
Yeah, a lot of aggression on this bottom lane. They tried to get blinks, but it looked like the root was able to zone out well enough. Takes out that 1 tower that's already done.
About all he's going to get out of it. Maybe help to clean up that lane.
Yeah.
And that's what we see there. And they do have a pretty sizable, about half-level lead because they're able to clean up those towers. So well done there to Barrel Boys.
Top lane right now only being soaked by Barrel Boys as well, so that's another slight advantage available here. Looks like the grab going down here from Caterpillar. McIntyre almost able to pull him out of that. Surprised we didn't see that, and he's just flying back up to make sure he can soak his lane effectively.
Yeah, I mean, everything's always about that race to level 10, so you want to make sure that you're properly soaking to get that experience. And we mentioned that's about just a little bit less than a quarter lead. They are catching up a little bit, so nice job there from Murlocs Incorporated to make sure that they're continuing to get that EXP.
Well, right now, both teams very close to 10. We can see the level 7 talents that have been picked up here.
Yes.
Look at this Muradin build. He's
just all hammers.
That's
honestly, that's pretty standard for Muradin builds. So he's grabbing that, the extra damage for every hero he hits. With the Storm Bolt, he's picking up more damage for each hit. Extra damage to structures, and of course the Pierce. Pierce is almost always grabbed from Muradin. That's just to give him an extra peel, extra stuns in those team fights. Oh, so critical. And we do have level 10 picked up for Barrel Boys here. We have Ultralisk back again.
Oh my
so
goodness.
excited. I'm really liking when Kerrigans are grabbing this Ultralisk here. It allows them to sort of stay on the sidelines. They pull their combo, rewind, pull their combo, but they have the Ultralisk in the middle of the fight, sort of subbing up their body instead of having to run in with Maelstrom and potentially die if they don't play it right. So nice. And we also have Judgment. I think that is Tranquility, yes, and Archon and Ravenous Spirit, all things that we would expect. We do have Rain of Vengeance coming out of Vala on the Murlocs Inc. side. Divine Storm. Mighty Gust!
Oh, we're finally
Mighty
seeing
Gust!
The counter. It's not even a counter. It's just a Well, I guess it is a counter.
Yeah,
it's
their way to deal with Ravenous Spirit.
Yeah.
I like it. So they are trading up quite a bit of damage.
Yes.
To do this.
It's safety. I mean, it knocks out multiple things. If the Ultralisk is chasing you, it can blow that away.
Yeah.
I mean, it really disrupts the entire fight, and it can be used in cool aggressive situations. But Echo is going to be taking so much damage.
Yeah,
they could have done a better timing out of their stuns and roots there, but he's going to be falling either way. Primal Grass there, just for the insurance policy. We see the Tranquility going down, but McIntyre is going to fall instead. Now, we see Trumbull in the front line doing out a lot of damage, just dishing it away, but as Clown has made his way down, this is actually a decent posture. Full team's right, Avengers clipping him there, but the Judgment going down. The Mighty Gus knocks the Ravenous Spirit out at the last possible second, but Curse Fury is doing so much work in the front line. Atlanta, does he have the Dwarf Toss? There it is. Spanker behind the wall, Caterpillar opting to Hearth back. He has nothing left, no juice left in the tank. Dragonite is available, but do they manage to get this? The root is there, and it's going to time him out. It's going to be a Dragonite here for Curse Fury, picking that up. There's no way they can stop it.
Super close. Yeah, man, what an exciting fight. That was really cool to see. It was really particularly odd because of the way that people were sort of trickling in. Tyrael was a little bit behind Vala as they're pulling in. So it's like, why are they fighting? Oh, they can actually get a slight hero advantage here. Pretty cool. Then we saw the Mighty Gus to deal with the Ravenous Spirit, the Judgment, and kind of a fun fight.
Yeah.
I actually didn't notice this. I should have picked up on this a little bit sooner, but Falstaff grabbed Battle Momentum instead of the Boom Hammer.
That's actually
at level
cool.
7, which probably could have pointed a little bit towards Mighty Gus. I mean, we usually see the Boom Hammer just for that extra burst.
Right.
This may point to him not actually grabbing, what is it, a level 16 Overdrive. I mean,
yeah, I don't think
with no Boom Hammer, it actually would make very little sense to grab that.
Spanker is so low, though. His shield is there. The Vine Storm going down on Echo, but Echo is going to be falling as well. One member down right now. Spanker just tapping first aid, barely staying alive at the moment. Clown took a good chunk of damage, but he has to tumble back, and there's just so much damage being done by the Dragonite. The fort's going to end up falling here.
Not much they can do about that, but they are probably going to be able to keep this Dragon from pushing down the wall here. Yeah.
Yeah, they
and I imagine they will be backing up.
Yep, Atlanta here in the front line, seeing what he can get done. Clown just kind of throwing in. Judgment goes down on Spanker. Do they have the roots available to get him there? No. Mighty Gus plus lasts them all right on back, but Clown is kind of out of position, and he's just backing it up here. Going to tap as well.
Do they contest this, though? This is a play that they can make, just from positioning standpoint.
Oh,
are they going to be able to get in?
The Rain of Vengeance did a lot of work there, but Clown getting eliminated so quickly, but Echo is back. He used his heal already, so he's not going to be able to heal up Atlanta. Clown gets blown up, too. Ravenous Spirit doing so much work. Mighty Gus is on cooldown, so they have no response for that. And, wow. What a dominant push here out of Barrel Boys.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, even with the Battle Momentum, the cooldown is pretty short on Mighty Gus. I think it maybe is around 60 seconds or so. But, I mean, if he just used it in that last fight, had he had it, that would have been the perfect solution to dealing with that Night Camp, or that Giant can't push there. But not the case, of course. And they're going to continue to carry this lead a little bit, and they're going to grab these Knights Bruiser camp down bottom here and continue to push forward.
Now, they have the level advantage, one level up at this point in time. Those Knights can be pushing the bottom lane. We see just Kerrigan getting his full mana here as the rest of the team is grabbing more Merc camps. On the other side of the map, there's really just nothing they can do right now. There's no objectives they can safely take. Knights are on cooldown for another 30 seconds. And right now, they just kind of have to soak lanes the best they can. They should be cleaning up this bottom lane, and it looks like they're rotating to do that right now. But they need to make sure they stay safe at the same time.
Yeah, and we can talk a little bit about some of the talents to grab, namely Falstad, because of the level 13. I would say more often than not, people are grabbing the extra damage on the lightning strikes that go off. But this one is static shield, so every time one of those hits, he gets the
Falstad
extra
gets
shield
blown up.
for 5% of his HP. Yep.
Yep. He was in this top lane.
Yep.
And as soon as the Knights spawn, they are there. We saw them summon on in and get blown up.
Yeah.
It's looking really good for Barrel Boys right now.
It is, and they're going to be able to go up and they're going to take this top shrine here. They will have control of that. And what they do in terms of rotations afterwards will obviously dictate how they get that Dragonite that they're so wanting to grab.
Now we can see this aggression in the bottom lane coming out of Murlocs Inc. But Barrel Boys knows it's here. They have the rotation. They have the two frontliners in the back line. They're going to look for that priority target. Cast Aside is used on Echo, but Sprint is going to get him on out of there. I don't know if this is going to be an initiation they can take. They can still Judgment in on that target if they want it. Cast Aside once again, displacing people, but still no real follow-up happening with that.
Yeah, just enough to push them off the shrine, and they have the rotation on them. As long as they're able to hold that shrine, they could sneak someone up to grab that Dragonite. Kerrigan's thinking about it,
She's debating it. She's debating it. She's going up and down and up and down.
And they're going for it.
Yeah, they make the call, go, 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 grab that Dragon Knight. We can hold them off. And they're doing just that. Curse Fury standing on that Dragon Knight, and there it's picked up. Echo getting really low, gets rooted. Archon doing a lot of work. Cast Aside always pushing people in positions where they don't want to be. Judgment used to secure even as Divine Storm comes out, and that's going to be a kill. Atlanta knocked into the enemy territory.
That's so big.
Rain of Vengeance to zone, Mighty Gust to zone, but Falstad falls anyways. And at this whole time, Atlanta's still so far out of position.
Yeah, that boot was actually really nice. I mean, they just kick the tank out, and that's the person that's trying to provide peel for the rest of the team. That gives like basically a green light for the team to just run in and try to put a lot of pressure onto their damage dealers. And that's exactly what we saw. They had to disengage that team fight, and now we have a huge push coming out of Barrel Boys.
Yeah, they're just going to be putting the pressure on this bottom lane once again. They already did a good amount of work here. They also have the Knights still in the top lane doing work. Those are the offensive Knights that they stole. The Dragon Knight hits pretty hard at 12 minutes. It's not 20-minute Dragon Knight, that's for sure, but it is quite strong.
Yes, I don't think they're going to be able to get this keep here, especially with Falstad coming back up off cooldown from dying there. They should be able to push them out, perhaps with a Mighty Gust, but yeah, they still have half health on that keep.
Yeah, the one time they used Mighty Gust defensively to retreat, it really cost them a lot because that Ravenous did a lot of work. So I think they're going to try to refrain from doing that again if they can.
Yeah.
But again, those Knights are still an issue in the top lane.
Yeah, they're probably going to take that wall up there for that top keep, I would imagine.
Oh, the bribes go down. Atlanta is going to be able to just barely grab these. It should be able to dwarf toss over the wall, so it should be just fine. Very, very well done by having only Atlanta go forward to grab that because they knew the potential of a gank there.
Sure, absolutely. I guess this gives us a little bit of time to talk about some of the level 16 talents that have been grabbed for either side here. We do have the double blood for Kerrigan and Tyrael, enduring tenacious roots here.
Yep. This is actually a very interesting build. Grabbing Shrink Ray and Tenacious Roots. As they're opting, they have so much lockdown, they're grabbing even more. Yeah. They're saying, look, we can cast someone out of position. We can get the zombie walls, get these extra roots and slows and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, and if it's a situation... Oh, never mind.
Yeah, we have a big initiation in the middle. McIntyre, Divine Storm goes down, hitting multiple people. Echo had to heal himself. We see the double healing ward there on the side of Barrel Boys, and it's doing a lot for them to keep them alive. Atlanta very low in the backside. He's getting pressured by a lot of people. The Ultralisk is doing a ton. He pops first aid to try to stay alive here. They're chasing out Trummel. Fan is taking a lot of damage as well. 3 members there, and we see the rotation coming. Caterpillar got the aggression on, and now he's in a pretty bad spot, trying to fly on out. Will he make it? Just barely gets out before the Primal Grass hits him, and that was a really crazy fight. Somehow, they only lost 1 member.
So far.
So far, Atlanta
does have the dwarf toss. Okay, I thought it was a bit of a misplay there on McIntyre's part. If he had just primal grasped immediately, it should have been able to stun him out of that fly.
Probably on a cooldown.
Well, he used it immediately after, like maybe like a second after. Maybe it was. It's possible. I wasn't.
I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. But a lot of damage going there right on Curse Fury, and that could signal a backup here. They might say, look, it's not worth it. We have an advantage, and let's just back up.
Yeah, they have. There's a lot of camps they can take. They're probably going to rotate down. Take these bottom Knights. Oh no, not with the shrines popping up here. They're going to just put themselves into position to do that.
Atlanta really far forward right now. Uther has respawned and he's on his way back in. Until Echo gets back in the fight, it's going to be tough here. Atlanta taking a lot of damage from the Primal Grass. They just blow him up.
That was fast. With the Envenom and everything, they had plenty of burst damage.
Excuse me, as I itch my arm and blow everything up. Caterpillar gets hit with a Shrink Ray, and he gets very low very quickly. And this, I mean, this isn't really a situation where they can test all that well. It looks like they're opting to potentially go for their Knights, pick those up, but both shrines will be picked up so quickly. Kerrigan's making her way on up.
She is. Yeah, the lack of mobility here to get someone up to that top shrine. It's hurting them a little bit here, and they may be able to set up a position where they can contest, especially with the range and that napalm strike there, to just hold that shrine to make sure and wait out that extra 15 seconds for the Muradin to come back.
That zombie wall and the root just guaranteeing they grab this Dragon Knight without any contest. Clown was so close to being able to disrupt it, but he's just a little bit late, and that's what, 3-4 consecutive Dragon Knights for Barrel Boys?
Yeah, they've gotten quite a few. And, I mean, it's telling the story of this game. They're so far ahead in terms of structure damage. Murlocs Incorporated hasn't even been able to take a single fort. Let alone, you know, some towers here and there. Wow, Curse Fairy going in.
Well, the battle momentum, excuse me, just the Judgment and the Cast Aside does so much damage, putting 2 of them out of position. The amount of lockdown and rooting they have, I mean, Atlanta is staying alive, but that's about it. The Dwarf tosses back on out of there. 3 members have died. They're forced to use Mighty Gust defensively, and this is going to signal an incredible aggression, trying to end the game as 5 members are up to just the 2.
Yeah, that's going to do it. So, yeah, that whole fight was just about really nice rotations on Barrel Boys' part. They just isolated someone, grabbed them, blew them up really fast. Just immediately switched to the next target. The communication was really good, and there was just no way for Murlocs Inc. to get in there just to try and disrupt that.
I just think the amount of lockdown they had, I mean, look at the talents here. Just the roots, the vengeful roots, it increases the duration on it. Didn't even go for rewind for double roots. They went for shrink ray to say once you're out of position, we're just going to make sure you can't leave. Kerrigan with Primal Grass, she has a rewind. She's got the double stun. Cast aside from Tyrael. Just across the board,
scary,
terrifying.
The rewind and everything is so scary. And it worked. It panned out. What was the kill? It's 3 to a large number. I'm not doing that math.
3 to a large number.
3 to a large number.
Pretty dominating play, considering both of these teams. I mean, a lot of people probably would say that Murlocs Inc. are the favorites coming into this match. And now Barrel Boys took out Vortex 2-1, and they're now up 1-0.
They're steamrolling right now.
Barrel Boys, bringing them barrels. Strong. They're barrel rolling. Guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break.
You guys stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.